Hello everyone, welcome back to Twisted Serenity with Mimi. Thanks for clicking on my channel. If you're returning, I want to say I thank you and I do appreciate you. If you're new to my channel and you like what you see, please hit that subscribe and like and comment. Now, I'm going to be bringing you guys some Valentine DIYs today, so I hope you guys enjoy. Sit back and relax or craft with me. Let's get started. Okay, so for our first one, I have this mason jar shape from Dollar Tree, and this one was from fall, but they carry these for every season. So I start off by cutting, the little twine off of it, and then I'm going to remove that metal piece. Remove it with your heat gun or, with your blow dryer, and save it though, because we are going to use that later on, because we are going to place it back onto our little mason jar. I take some white acrylic paint, and I just give it a couple coats of white acrylic paint. And then once that dries, I take a toothbrush and I take all my different color paints that I'm using, and I'm going to link those in the description box because they're the same color paints that I use throughout the whole video. And basically I'm going to do like splatter marks all over the mason jar. Now this gets messy, and so make sure that you put something underneath because I had paint flying everywhere. Now, Dollar Tree does carry conversation heart stickers, but I got some from my Dollar Tree and from Walmart, which were only, I believe, 98 cents. The ones from Walmart are like, they come in different sizes, and they're like a little bit thicker, like puffier, than the ones from Dollar Tree that just come in one different size. So basically, I have a mix of the Dollar Tree ones and the Walmart ones. So I'm just going to lay them out on my mason jar, and I'm going to put them, I'm gonna glue them onto the mason jar, and I want it to look like a little mason jar filled with little conversation hearts. Now I wanted to give it like a little bit more pop of color, so I did paint around the border of the mason jar with my blue color. Okay, so now we're gonna take our little galvanized piece that we took off in the beginning, and we're just going to glue it right back onto the top of our little mason jar. Now, for the last finishing touch, I have different colors of yarn. One's a lighter pink, a darker pink, and a white color. And I just wrapped it out around our mason jar to give it like that little and I gave it like a little crisscross at the top of it. And I added a little bow. And that was it for this one. How cute. Okay, you guys, for our next one, we're going to make like a little beaded garland. So I have different size beads. I believe it's 20 and 15. And I'm going to paint them with all our little different colors that we are going to use throughout our video. And then I decided to throw some of that Craft Smart mint color in there. And I painted a couple beads that color. And then I did the splatter of white paint like we did on our little mason jar. Now I grab my twine and I tape it off at the bottom so it could be strung. Is that what it is? Strung easily. And the way I have the beads lined up, that's the way I'm going to put them onto the garland. Okay, so now I have this little wood heart cutout. I believe this was from Dollar Tree, and as you can see, it was pink, but I took my blue color and I'm going to paint it blue. I don't like to waste anything, so I just repainted over that thing. And I gave it about 2 coats, and once it was dried, I took this little XOXO that I printed out with my Cricut, and I transferred it onto the heart. And then I strung the heart onto one end of our little bead garland. Once I had that side done, I grabbed all my yarns again, my pink, my white, and my lighter pink. And these are all yarns that I picked up at Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to make a tassel, and I string it onto the other end of the garland. And that was it for this one. You could put this on a tier tray. You could just hang it, on a shelf, anything you like. But I love like all the different colors. I love the way it looks. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, you guys, on to the next. This is one of those wood houses that Dollar Tree was carrying. I see them here and there, not as much as I have seen them before. And I'm just taking some white acrylic paint, and I'm going to give the whole entire house 2 coats. Okay, so once it was dried, I have this scrapbook piece of paper. This came from a scrapbook that I got from Michael's maybe a year or two ago. And it's basically pieces of scrapbook paper like conversation heart theme, which I just chose this one and I traced my wooden house onto it. I cut it out and then I'm going to use my purple disappearing glue stick. I love this stuff. And I'm just going to glue it right onto the house. I also take my little nail file sand brush thing, whatever it's called. And I am going just to basically sand down all around the edges just to get the little extra scrapbook paper around the little wooden house. Okay, so I have these little wood stickers that I have from Dollar Tree, and I grabbed the pink glitter one, and I'm going to glue it to the top of the middle of the house. And then I'm going to take one of the conversation hearts that are from Dollar Tree, and I glue it right on top of that heart. I just felt like it gave it that extra like pop of those different shades of color. Now, I grabbed some regular twine and I give it a couple wraps around the house, and that is it for this one. Another decor piece for under $2. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, so I have another wood piece from Crafter Square. I have the little cutting board from Crafter Square. So I'm just going to take off the little sticker, and I'm going to take my Lilac Mist from Apple Barrel, and I'm going to give it about 2 coats. Now, once dried, I grab another decal that I made with my Cricut, and it just says "so sweet." I just wanted to make it look like, you know, like a big conversation heart, and I transfer that onto my cutting board. Like I always say, if you don't have a Cricut, you could use a marker, you could use stickers, you could even use like graphite paper and print it out on regular paper. Like, you don't always have to have a Cricut to do these projects. And all that noise that you guys hear in the back, that is my toddler. I do try to hide from him, but it does not work. He finds me everywhere I go. So now I wanted this to look like very like candy feel. So I grabbed some fabric puffy paint and I basically started doing like squiggly lines. I wanted to make it look like icing drippings all over the cutting board. Now I just made regular drips on the front of it. I am gonna go back in soon and change that because I just don't like the way it looks. So I also do like the icing at the bottom of our little cutting board as well. And the way that I did it on the bottom, I'm going to do to the top as well. Now I use my little spatula because I do put the puffy paint, and since I want to be, you know, frugal, cheap, call it whatever, and not use so much puffy paint, I do just use a spatula to just kind of move the puffy paint around. And it dries, to me, it dries the same effect as just putting all the puffy paint, and it's to me, it's more or less like a lesser mess. Now, once you do the design that you want, I have this glitter that I picked up, I believe, from Walmart. I've been having this in my stash. I pour some glitter over it, and all these little sprinkles, I just made these with some Model Magic that I picked up from Dollar Tree, and I just added a little bit of the paint. And then I'm going to go in with the Walmart Conversation Hearts. They have, like I said, different sizes. These are the smallest ones. And I add 2 of them to the bottom of our little cutting board. Now, I felt like a bowl was going to be too much. So I have this glitter ribbon. And this has an adhesive on the back of it. Now, I cut it into strips. So I basically measured it on the top of our handle of our little cutting board. And I cut a couple strips. I put them at the front of our cutting board, and then I cut a long strip and I put it on the side of our handle of our cutting board, so it's completely covered with this glitter ribbon. I love, I think out of all of them, this has to be my favorite one. Okay, so I have these hearts from Hobby Lobby. And I think I paid like 75% off, like I want to say like 2 years ago. And these are a little bit bigger than the Dollar Tree ones. So I took 4 of them. I actually take 5, but I only do 4 right now. I decided to do a fifth one afterwards. And I paint one with our pink, one with our mint green, one with our purple, and one with our blue. And then the fifth one that I did, which I do not show on camera, but I do show you guys it, is I did one with yellow. I wanted to give it a pop of yellow. So I paint them all, and I have some glitter, and I just rub a little bit of glitter into them. Now I take these decals that I made with my Cricut, and just basically they're decals that look like conversation arts, like be mine, forever, love you, like, you know, those type of sayings. And I transfer them all onto the hearts. And then once they're done, like once I transfer them on, I'm going to take this Mod Podge. And this Mod Podge is like that thick one, like for, that is like glass. They said that it's like glass thickness to it. I use my little like makeup sponge, and I just covered like the front and the back of the hearts. And because basically I want to turn these into coasters. So I do this to all of my hearts. Once they're completely dried, I take these little felt pads, and these are from Dollar Tree, and I just glue 3 little felt pads to the back of the hearts, and that is it. My little coasters are done. Okay, so I have a little rolling pin. My little rolling pin is beat up, but it's been in my stash forever now. And I paint the middle of it with my Craft Smart Mint Green. Now, I love the color of this. The only thing, in my opinion, like the Craft Smart like paints, you have to do a lot of like coats of it in order to get like the color really onto your project. So I did paint it maybe about 4 times, I'm not going to lie. And I painted our ends with white. Now I have another decal. Of course, I know I'm using a lot of my decals from Cricuts, but like I said, stickers, markers, anything like that. And I just transferred on, it says, I love candy hearts, onto the middle of our little rolling pin. Now, once I transfer that decal on, I wanted this to kind of look like the cutting board that we did. So I take my puffy paint once again, and I do like the candy icing on the ends of the rolling pin. Now, I showed you guys like the pastel color looking sprinkles that I put on the cutting board. I also made some. I had got some like different clay. Actually, I found it in my stash, which I was so excited. It was like Christmas morning for me. As you can see, they're a little bit darker. So I mix, they're pastel as well, but like a little bit darker. So I used those, and then I went back to the cutting board. As you guys are going to see at the final, you know, my final reveal, you're going to see the cutting board does have those little faux sprinkles as well on it, because I did go back and put them on. So I covered, you know, the whole sides of, you know, with the icing, my little faux icing, my little faux sprinkles. And then I felt like I wasn't done. It was just a little too plain. So I decided to make it like really match our little cutting board. And I cut some of that glitter adhesive ribbon again. And I cut basically like a strip, and then I cut it in half. And I put it onto the little ends of like the little handles. The ends of the handles of the rolling pin. There we go. And I love this in the cutting board. I love because they're matchy. These are so cute. I love the way these came out. Okay, we're almost done, you guys. I have this little book stack from Fall Time, and I decided to take off the little ribbon with my heat gun. I saw that when I did it, the paper lifted up, and I have like bad experiences like in the past when I do paint over like, you know, these type of like MDF papers. The papers do bubble with the paint. So I just decided to go crazy, and I started scraping all that paper off. You guys do not have to do this. I just did I put some elbow grease into there, and I just scraped it all off and cleaned it all up. Now, once it was completely stripped, I did give it like a basic coat of white, because I didn't want to do so many layering of my pastel color paints. So I went in with my lilac mist, my pink and my blue, but I do end up flipping it around. So the pink will be at the top, the lilac mist will be at the bottom. So I paint the sides and the front of my little book stack. And once that's painted, I do take my little weeding tool for my Cricut and I just clean like the creases just to get that paint off so it could look like the divided books. Now, this is another piece of that scrapbook paper book from Michael's, and I took it out and I just traced my book stack, and I'm going to cut a piece out and I'm going to glue it to the top of the book stack so it could look like the top of the book. Now, for some reason, throughout the of everything, I lost my purple like little glue stick, so I used this adhesive spray just to glue it on there, and it wasn't that bad. I really don't use this much, that adhesive spray, but it was pretty good, and I just glued it right on top of there, and I just did the whole thing of sanding it down just to get those clean, crisper edges. Now I transferred my decal onto my little book stack, Be My Valentine, and once again I wanted it to be matchy with the little fake icing. So I took my puffy paint once again and I started to do drippings on the top of the book, and I added the glitter and the sprinkles, the same thing I did with the cutting board and the rolling pin. Now the scrapbook paper had some pops of gold, so I wanted to give it like a little dry brush. I had like this metallic gold acrylic paint, so I just did like a dry brush on there, and I love the way that it made it look. So I didn't want to use ribbon to like tie the books together, but I needed something else to go on my little book stack. So I grabbed my Walmart little puffy conversation hearts. I did the little faux icing and sprinkles on them, and I put them on top of our little book stack, and look at how cute this turned out. Okay, so for this next one, it's going to be so quick. So I have this little heart. I think this came from Hobby Lobby, and as you can see, I'm just repurposing what I have. I had painted it blue a couple years ago, so I'm just going to go in with this is a light pink from Apple Barrel, and I'm going to give it 2 coats just to cover all that blue up. Now once it's dried, I grabbed my glitter ribbon, and the width of it was like perfect because I just had to take off the adhesive, and I put it around the whole heart, and it fit perfect onto there. So once that was done, I wanted it to look like a little conversation heart, so I just made a decal with my Cricut, and I just put it right onto our little heart, and this one was done. If you're doing a tier tray, this is like a perfect little perfect little piece to put on your tier tray. Okay, you guys, in my last Valentine video, I did some like little pillow hearts. I wanted to make some like conversation pillow hearts. So I have a bunch of pieces of felt, and felt is so inexpensive. You can find it at Walmart for like, I think it's like 33 cents. So I wanted them to be like a little bit bigger, so I took the Hobby Lobby heart. You could use any heart shape that you have, and I just traced 2 pieces onto my felt. I cut them out, and then I took my liquid stitch, which I was surprised that it did actually work on the felt. You just have to wait for it to completely dry up. And I went around my heart with the liquid stitch, and I left a little opening, and then I took, it's not polyfill like I said in so many videos, I have this big unicorn stuffed animal that my daughter was going to throw away, and I mean, I could make pillows for life with this stuffed animal. So I fill it up with my stuffing, and then I seal it up, the little opening, with the liquid stitch. So I had different colors of felt, so what I did was I just did it with all the different colors that I had. I had yellow, I had a light pink, I had white, and I had a blue. So once I had all my little hearts stuffed and done, I took my red fabric paint, puffy paint from Dollar Tree, and I just wrote little sayings on it to look like little conversation hearts. And that was it for this one, you guys. Okay, so on to our last one. These are those wood stickers from Dollar Tree. I took 4 of them out, and they weren't all unfinished, so I did flip them around, and I painted one with my mint, one with my blue color, one with my pink, and one with my purple. So once they were dried, I took out these stickers from Dollar Tree. Like I said, you guys, you don't have to have a Cricut. I could do it handwriting stickers, whatever. Now I wanted them to be in white, so I did paint the stickers with white acrylic paint. I painted the stickers of the letters LOVE. I placed them onto the hearts, and I grabbed three tumbling tower blocks. I glue these 3 tumbling tower blocks together, and I paint them with white acrylic paint. Now, once I have them painted, I grab my hearts, and these are just basically like these are just some like little wood pieces. I put them as like a little support so I could glue my hearts onto them, and I had painted them white as well. And I glued them onto our little tumbling tower blocks, and I glue the hearts onto the little pieces of the wood. And this is another little piece for our tier tray, or even on our shelf. Let me know what you guys think. I want to thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on that bell notification to be notified when I post my next video. For everybody that supported me, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart and let you guys know that I do appreciate you. And as I always say, this world could throw you twists and turns, but always make good choices. To the next one, you guys.